No, hello, how you doing? I just spent like 2 hours trying to dump Kamen Rider Climax Scramble, and it doesn't work in the emulator, so I kind of just want to play stuff that works. I didn't get frustrated. I mean, it'll work eventually, and the frame rate wasn't unlocking either, but yeah, I got stuff to do in the morning, so I kind of just want to unwind. How you doing? I've been streaming for a couple days, huh? Said that it works in Ryujinx, but it sure as hell wasn't working for me. It crashes on boot, so it's basically unplayable. Sucks. It's alright though. It like very rarely goes on sale, so it's bought for when it does work. A little bit weird though. The game is in Unity, so I don't know why it can't run. Quite sure I understand why that game doesn't work and all the other Kamen Rider games work. They're all on the same engine. They make those games on the cheap. Because it only gets sold in Japan and Southeast Asia, so they don't have like a big market. I might fight with him more later. I'm like, it's getting late. I kind of just want to just play some normal stuff. It'll get fixed when it gets fixed. That's what I get for buying the game legally. I paid for it with normal money. I paid for it legally and I can't play it. That's what I get for following the rules. Can't imagine it's easy to find a dump for an obscure game like that anyway. It's all good. I don't trust those sites anyway. Well, my Switch dumps are from my own collection. Stuff I bought. There's no viruses in them. I was gonna play that tonight, but nope. Powers that be said no. Well, I got the Evangelion DLC for Shin Kamen Rider Rumble. I'll probably play that tonight too. It just takes a really long time to dump all that stuff, so I'm kind of pissed that I bought that new game and it doesn't work. I doubt it'll get fixed because it's like a weep trash game. They don't really care about those for good reason. It's more like you gotta get Tears of the Kingdom to work like day one so that their Patreon funds go like way up. That's gotta be top priority, right? Not some weeb Kamen Rider game. I know their Patreon income is gonna go up like massively when that comes out. I know that for a fact. People will pay. They'll pay for that game. They won't pirate it, but no one wants to play it on the actual console. If I was interested in that game, I'd buy it to support it, but I would not even bother booting it up on console. I feel like I'd rather just dump it. Let's see, what other weaknesses we got? Dark and physical. Alright. How you doing, man? Sorry I haven't been on much. I wanted to be on earlier tonight, but 2 hours of Switch tech support. And I didn't even get mad, it's just like, these kinds of things happen. Imagine how much money they're gonna make when they put out the update for Tears of the Kingdom on those emulators. They're gonna make so much money. That's gonna be top priority, I'm sure. Whoever makes that game run it, uncaps the frame rate, is gonna be a hero. I actually don't really know if that will happen, though. From what I understand, Breath of the Wild runs worse on, it runs worse on Switch emulation than Wii U. Like, I think pretty much all the mods for it, like the mods that add like more content to the game, I think like they're all for the Wii U version. You know people are gonna want it, but somebody has to do it and it has to work in the emulator. I'm gonna assume it's the same engine. Problem is they have to deal with people who can't even act very well. A lot of the people in the Yuzu Discord just pirate the games, but they try to pretend like they don't. And then they get banned. It's like, well, you know, piracy is your own morality, if you want to do that or not, but they catch on really fast. That's why I just dump all my own stuff legally. I can show them the game on my console if anybody gives me crap like, hey, I just paid for this and dumped it. I didn't have to, but I did. I think there's actually like pretty good ROM sites for Switch games. I just don't trust that stuff. Remember, I downloaded a ripped copy of Crimson Land when I was like 16 and it fucked up my computer. That's why I'm like legit. That's why I'm legit. I don't trust that stuff. That really messed up my computer doing it. I don't remember what was wrong with it. It was like the crack for it was... Something was up with it. The whole computer freaked out. Yeah, I was a teenager with no money, so... It's pretty catastrophic when that happens. That's probably why I'm all legit on the Switch. I don't pirate anything. It's all sourced from my own collection. feel like Switch doesn't even really matter because everything's been backed up. People rip every game like as soon as it comes out. Like the 3DS just lost its eShop a while ago, a couple weeks ago. It's like, well, every game that's ever been on there has been ripped. All of them have been ripped. It doesn't really matter. And you can't buy it legally anymore, and even if you do get a used copy, it's like the money doesn't go towards... It doesn't go to people that made it, so you might as well just go get a ROM at that point. There's no reason not to. I remember I had a ROM of Metroid Zero Mission that I downloaded when I was in high school. Even though I already paid for the game. I already had the game pre-ordered and paid off in full. I just found the ROM because I didn't want to wait. That was the beginning of me doing that. I did download the ROM for that, but I had a physical copy. It's just the ROM appeared on the internet like must have been like a week in advance. I don't know how that person got a copy that early, but I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, yeah, I'm downloading this ROM, but I already paid for it. I beat the game before it came out. And then when it came out, I like plowed through it so fast. Good times. It's interesting. Back then, it wasn't as easy to dump games. Now on the Switch, you just buy it. You just buy it and push a button, and it's dumped. It just like takes no effort. People that put all those ROMs on the internet that everybody downloads all have like actual machines to dump the cartridge. It's like way easier. Like, yeah, just hack your Switch, you can buy the game legally and just dump it. It takes like 3 minutes. Push the A button 3 times, the game is dumped. What's up, man? I was talking about how I was going to be on earlier tonight because I have things to do in the morning. I can't stream for too long, but I ripped my copy of Kamen Rider Climax Scramble and it just crashes the emulator, so I'm pretty pissed. I spent like 2 hours doing that. I spent a non-trivial amount of time dumping the game, and then it doesn't work. TV sound version of Memory of Heroes is on sale. It's only like $50. I would almost buy it. I would almost buy that version, but I'd just get copyright claimed if I ever streamed it, so I don't think that's worth the money. I'm pretty much paying money to get all your videos claimed if you buy that. I guess they do that for most Kamen Rider games. They have like the music from the show. But if you create content, your shit's just gonna get claimed. So you're paying extra money to like get claimed the moment that you play the game. Like pretty much all the Batride War games have a premium TV sound. So does Memory of Heroes. I don't think Climax Scramble did actually. I think that one did. I think I had some people ask me about that back when Batride War Genesis came out. Like, yeah, you want me to pay for the premium sound version so that I can't make any money back. Alright. I'm not paying for that shit. There's a limit to my passion, okay? So yeah, if you like that Kamen Rider game, it's available on the Japanese eShop. It's like, I think it's like $30 for the one with the generic music. The TV sound is like $50. I think that game is worth it, especially if you have an emulator, because you play it at double the frame rate. The game's got deceptively good combat. The console version has frame rate really holds it back. I'm really enjoying playing through it again. That was like the main thing that made me stop. Like, this runs like buns, man. I really don't even know why that game is 30 FPS on PS4. Even a base PS4 should be able to handle that game. It's like they didn't even try. Like, yeah, we're not even going to attempt to make this look like a PS4 game, but it still runs like a Switch game.
の痛みだね。私の痛みは深淵に消える。深淵にのみ弱い。深淵の豪華で全て終わらせてあげる。私は私についてくれる。
Pulau is saving the physical team. Physical team is the worst in this game right now. Used to be Fire was the worst. Fire is getting a huge buff next patch. Pale Fire gets buffed, and then Nanami Mech is going to be out as well. Physical's got a long way to go. You need Luminance buff. You need Balter as well. Pulau is fun to use, and she kind of carries that team, I think. For me, anyway.
私がいる場所が戦場よ。私の邪魔をするのよ。ずいぶんいいですね。滅びなさい。断じしなさい。死は許しません。いい戦いでしたね。
Well, I don't have enough to do it. I plowed through all of it but one. Forgot about the combat point. Well, there we go. That was a pretty painless weekly reset. Just gotta clear these down here. But I pay for the battle pass, so I usually don't bother. Some stuff in this game is not worth doing if you spend like even $5 on it a month. This game is minimal grind. But if you're free to play, then there's more grind. If you're a dolphin, at least, you don't really need to spend that much time. I'm not gonna go get pissed off at some event for like 20 black cards. It doesn't make sense to do that. I spend on the game. I don't spend much, but I do spend on it. So some of that stuff's like not even worth doing. Let's see here. Guess I'll just save up my mats. Not quite sure what to do next, really. Might actually be a good thing to just save them so that I can get Pale Fire buffed up. Probably get her memories. That's probably like the next thing I'll do, I think. Let's see, that takes like 2100, I think. That's what it's called. Mulan. I have enough for 6 memories for her. Probably just get that done right now. Let's see here. Short, like 1 short. That's easy to fix. Got some extra stam from leveling up. Go ahead and do that really quick so that she's done. Hey, what's good, Gaijin? How you doing? Just finishing up my homework here. Yeah, almost maxed out on the battle pass already. It's only been like, it says week 3. So should be able to get all the way to the end. That's what's really important. Get the vouchers. How many fragments do I need on Selena Cappuccino? Let's see here. Get 20 from there, and then 20 from there. How many do I have left in here? I need like 54, I think. It's 27 from there. And then I have like 10 in the roguelike mode, I think. There's like 10 left in here, but I don't feel like playing this mode right now. It takes too long. I'd only be like 7 short. So probably have to wait for like another patch or something. But yeah, I'll get her to Triple S soon. Yeah, I saw you playing that Yakuza 0 like juggle mod. That looked pretty cool. What the hell was that? I'm not really knowledgeable on those games. I played them, I just can't get into them. You had like some mod. I remember that boss. Was that guy's name Kuze? I fought him in Yakuza 0. You were like doing like this minute-long combo on him. So it's like, what the hell was that? I'm interested. I think I'll play some Kamen Rider and I'll probably be it for tonight. Actually slept quite a bit today, but I kind of wanted to play the new Kamen Rider game that I bought, but it doesn't load. Just crashes on boot. I have no idea why. Oh, I gotta fix this, hold on. One moment. Doesn't like when the emulator is not in full screen and you put it in full screen, the window capture gets all jacked up. There we go, should be fixed now. How are they modding that game so much? Like, it's on a proprietary engine. Does the old Yakuza engine even have a name? 'Cause that was the one they used all the way up to Yakuza 6. I just can't fathom how they mod those games so much without, like, actual tools or access. It's pretty nuts, man. They just have those games, like, ripped apart, like, the moment that they come out. Which is normally something that only happens for, like, RE Engine games or Unreal Engine. Most games get modded super fast, everything else is a lot slower. There's a crazy amount of moveset mods for Lost Judgment. I only got a couple hours into that game, but I do want to give it a chance again. Just haven't really wanted to mess with mods that much until I play more of it. I don't like to mess with games too much unless I straight up know that the mods just make it better, like Dragon's Dogma. I've been playing that on my Steam Deck. And everyone pretty much tells you, like, yeah, if you want to play this game, just get the unlimited sprint and carry weight. So I'm like, yeah, I'll install that. I don't want to, like, mess with movesets and stuff before I've, like, really played it. I feel like that's kind of ruining the experience of the game a little bit. I'd like to at least try it as intended and go from there.
行くのね
Shared files. Yeah, I know that they recycle a lot of assets. I know there's, like, animations in those games that have been recycled for, like, that have been recycled for, like, a decade. Like the Mr. Shakedown moveset. I think they just keep using that moveset. They'll give, like, a character, a random boss will have, like, 2 punches from him. And there's, like, no way that you would notice unless you're, like, super hardcore into it. I only know that because I watch speedruns of those games. I haven't played them much myself, but I know that they recycle a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's how they get those games out so fast. That's how they get them out so fast. Which isn't a bad thing. Not everything needs to be made from scratch all the time. I think the new game with Kiryu sounds stupid, though. Why are you gonna give the character an ending and then bring him back? The only thing you do is just make him wear, like, some K-pop star's wig. Somehow people don't notice. They already made a pretty drastic change with the turn-based combat. Like, why do they need to make another Kiryu game? I don't really understand it. My opinion doesn't have any weight because I haven't played the games much, but I have friends that are really into them. I think they're just playing it safe because there was the whole thing with the guy that's in the Judgment games. How the agency that he's a part of is like batshit insane. So, it was a big deal for those games to come out on PC. People thought it was never going to happen. But I guess the CEO, like, I guess he croaked recently, and the person that's in charge now is like more mentally stable. They realized that, like, hey, people buy this game again just to have it on PC. That was why the first Judgment was on Stadia. Basically, Sega was like, yeah, most of our Yakuza sales are on PC. They're for people that don't have current-gen consoles. In the country they live in, or, you know, just income or whatever. You don't want to miss out on those sales. And like, well, the only way you can put it on PC is to put it on Stadia, so that you can't turn the guy that does the acting for Yagami. You can't mod him into like Shrek or something. Can't do like speedo mods or anything. That was why it was on Stadia. I guess the CEO of the agency was still in charge at the time. It kind of met Sega halfway, which didn't work because A, nobody bought it on Stadia, and Stadia shut down like a year later, so... I really think that's part of why that agreement went through also. It's like, well, there's nowhere else you can really stream the game and like not have actual access to the files, meaning that you're running it natively on a device. It's not streaming off like a server or something. So I think all the Kiryu stuff is because they knew that they kind of wrote themselves into a corner by saying that the mainline Yakuza games are going to be turn-based only from now on. A lot of people didn't like. Turn-based game of like moderate budget like that is already a pretty big risk, but then made like 15 games with the same combat. Obviously, it's not everybody's gonna like it, whether it's good turn-based combat or not. I've watched a lot of speedruns of the Yakuza 7 game. It doesn't look bad for turn-based combat. There's actually quite a bit of depth to it, but stuff happens, like sometimes the enemies don't react properly. Or like your AI gets stuck. Yeah, I think people don't understand there's such a thing as bad turn-based combat. It's a lot harder to screw up turn-based combat just because of how simple it is, and the whole thing about it is having direct control, but there's still games with bad turn-based combat. You can't say that all turn-based combat is bad. I don't like it. I recognize the advantages of doing it, which is having full control, which in a game like what I'm playing right now, you don't always have full control. I played my fair share of turn-based RPGs growing up that had like a random encounter like every 2 steps. I'd say Persona is probably like top tier turn-based combat from what I've seen. Everything else is kind of under that. There's a lot of really shitty turn-based games coming out. I remember a friend of mine had Beyond the Beyond when I was growing up. You get a random encounter like every 2 steps in that game. It's unplayable. It's like unplayable. You can't have random encounters that much. That's just excessive. Especially when you factor in like PS1 load times, how long it took to transition. It wasn't a seamless transition like it was for old school turn-based RPGs, like 8-bit, 16-bit era. Like the Chrono Trigger port sucks on PS1 because it has to load a lot. So the whole point of the game, which was like there's no random encounters at all spawns are fixed. You can respawn them. You can respawn them, but there's no random encounters, and you're back into field play like seamlessly. But then they put it on PS1, and they couldn't load it in and out of battle that quickly. So it'd be stuck staring at a frozen screen for like 5 seconds every fight. Completely ruins that game. It's like clearly not how they intended for it to be played when they were making it on the Super Nintendo.
どうするの？強化するのね。
Well, pretty much every JRPG is gonna come down to that at some point. Tales games, as much as I love them, are very, very guilty of that as well. Like, random battles can just be gobs of experience, but then, like, bosses can just rip you to shreds. And because it's not turn-based, there's more of an execution factor involved with it. But that was really cool about Tales of Berseria, is they had the Back to the Future hoverboard in that game, and it sucked because it didn't make you run much faster. The move speed on it sucked, but the way that it worked was if you ran into an enemy and you were over-leveled, like I guess if you reached a certain stat threshold above their base stats for that difficulty, you would just run over them and they would disappear. Now, obviously in a real-time action combat, it doesn't take as long to get through, like trash mob fights when you're over-leveled, because you kind of just go up and just slash them once and they're dead. But that was a really cool feature. I think Dragon Quest XI did something like that as well. It's like, yeah, it's going to take longer for you to load in and out of this battle than it is for you to beat the enemies, so you might as well just let you kill them outright. Like, there's no reason not to. There's no skill involved at that point.
どれにする？
You're just kind of wasting people's time if you don't have stuff like that in a turn-based game, or any JRPG, really. I know my friends would always complain about FF7. I never really played that game myself. I never cared for it. But that game had that Knights of the Round summon that took like 2 minutes to finish. It's like, yeah, you're not even playing the game at that point, man. You're just watching the commercial over and over. You're watching like a full commercial break every time you cast that summon. But it's still like the fastest way to do things, so everybody was doing it. The first Disgaea was like that as well. You couldn't skip the animations. So, unless your units couldn't just, like, Rambo, just like one of them just, like, two-shot an enemy. If you had to, like, dogpile the boss and do, like, your most powerful moves, it'd take, like, minutes before you could have control again. They used to joke that the first Disgaea is like a good game to play if you need to do your homework, but you want to play video games, it's like, yeah, just queue up a turn on that. Have like 8 units, attack a boss, because it takes like 5 minutes, so you can probably do some math problems or write an essay or something in that time. First Disgaea is not bad, but they definitely made those games better over time. It's hard to do a lot with it when it's basically just an endless grind, but being able to skip the animations was huge. I think the best turn-based games is probably the Mario and Luigi games, in my opinion. Because it's like you still took turns, but every attack was dodgeable. There was no trading hits. Like, you never needed to use the items if you were good enough. They used to beat the final boss in that game without getting hit. I thought that was really cool. It's like, yeah, if you wanted to just tank every hit and heal, you could still do that. But I thought it was more interesting that way. There was still the strategy of, like, how much damage can I do in this one turn? But it wasn't like normal turn-based stuff where it's like every third turn this guy is going to do like a mega attack, and then I have to make sure I have 3,000 HP or something, which I think just gets old. I really like those games because those are like really the only turn-based games I really enjoyed. And the encounters weren't random too, so you got the best parts of like real-time action RPGs. You can actually dodge attacks, and there's still like optimization and strategy, but it's not just standing there and trading hits. I feel the mobile games are the worst because there's like not even any strategy. It's just how much money you spend. Even crap like the Neptunia series, which are generic JRPGs just with Moe Blob waifus running around. Those are still better than the mobile ones because there's no microtransactions. And if there are, they're minimal. It's like maybe the cost of the game. It's not like thousands of dollars. I'm okay with that. I follow a channel that posts a lot of gacha games that come out. There might be one that I want to play, and every time I see turn-based, I just immediately turn off the video. I'm like, turn-based combat's not bad, but if I wanted that, I would just play Persona or something. I'm not gonna do a endless treadmill grind in a turn-based game that's mobile, because all the skill just goes out the window. I'm sure there's still some strategy in those games, but the solution to make things easier is just going to be just to spend money. It doesn't have anything to do with skill. Alright, I think I'll do like one more game tonight. Let's see, what do we got here? If I feel like playing I don't feel like playing Memory of Heroes right now. I'm not really going to be streaming much longer, so let's just play a regular ass PC game. A lot of JRPGs in general just have bad pacing. I really liked Indivisible. That game was pretty good. It had like the parrying and stuff and the whole combo system. The problem with Indivisible was the platforming was way harder than the actual battles. When I played through the game, I played through it at launch, and the endgame balancing was embarrassingly bad. Basically, there's no skill involved towards the end. There's basically just a normal turn-based game. You just push buttons and everything dies. I think that they like nerfed your stats in a couple of the patches before they disbanded. I enjoyed that game. It was pretty good. But towards the end, they leaned a little bit too much into the plot armor. Your character gets like transforms and stuff. And then like the only challenge in the game was just the platforming. I don't think that game was very accessible at all, to be honest with you, because it actually was designed to not be your standard turn-based game where you can just like farm items or grind or like buy a bunch of healing items and just kind of not even have to think. You have to think like even less than like something like a Tales game. They didn't want it to be that kind of game, but then they also had like a little bit under Kaizo level platforming in it. I couldn't really recommend that game to somebody who wants a casual turn-based RPG because it is turn-based, but there's no items in that game at all. Healing takes a pretty precious resource to do. They're expecting you to parry and like really optimize your combos and stuff. And then the platforming is actually relatively difficult. It's not like I want to be the guy levels of platforming, but it's up there for sure. For a game with turn-based combat, I'd say it's pretty high. Generally, turn-based games kind of lighten up on the action elements because they're for people that aren't good at those kinds of things or they just don't enjoy doing those kinds of things in video games. I should go back and play it again. I know that they did a couple patches before the company disbanded because Mike Z is a toxic, abusive asshole apparently. I know that they did a couple patches, but that was my review for that game. It's like, yeah, the combat was fun until like the last third of it, where there's no skill involved at all. You're just struggling to get through the platforming. I think it stopped being a combat game at that point. And now that we know that working there was like hell on earth because of Mike Z, it's kind of a little bit more forgivable. At the time, being that that game came out several years after Skullgirls, you're expecting it to be like more polished, but had a lot of bugs and then shitty balancing in the end game. The side quests were awful too. The side quests were a complete waste of time. It's basically just a couple text boxes and then a palette swapped monster you would fight. They fleshed out the characters a little bit. Some people didn't like the pacing of that game. It's like, well, the alternative is Valkyrie Profile, which is an amazing game, but it has horrendous pacing because every character has like a 30-minute unskippable cutscene. Some people didn't like that in Indivisible. They really streamlined that part. It's like, hey, we'll give you a little bit of backstory, but then they join your party and you start playing again. I actually really like that angle. I don't really think they had the budget to do like long ass voice acted animated cutscenes for like 20 playable characters. I think they would have if they could, but I felt like there was a decision early on like, hey, we don't have the money to do this. We're just going to give them like a paragraph and then they join the party and you have player control again. I actually really like that about that game. Some of the characters did have a little bit more backstory, but you could tell that there were some that they added really late on, and they didn't have time to do that anymore, so they kind of just, hey, I'm here, I can fight, can I join your party? Sure, they're in your party. It's probably worth finishing now that they patch it up a little bit. It's just a weird game. It's like, doesn't really feel like an accessible game at all, because it's not your typical turn-based RPG. It's like Mario or Luigi balancing, but you're actually expected to like parry all the stuff. I mean, there's nothing in Mario Luigi games. There's nothing stopping you from like level grinding or just farming a bunch of mushrooms and not even trying to dodge stuff. But the game is designed in a way where like, yeah, even if you're doing like 2 damage, you could beat that fight with skill, right? Because you can dodge every attack. There's no forced damage in that game.
Welcome, sir. She's waiting for you.
Gonna enjoy this.
Don't be shy. Come closer, so I can get a better look at you. Look at your face. Not even a scar. Your family is certainly full of mysteries. I'm certain Yang would be thrilled to see you again. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have that opportunity. Take him out!
And you regret.
Everyone into position. Shut down all entrances and exits.
Nope, we got a Kamen Rider in the building. Kamen Rider in the building. Code Red.
Put that down.
Damn, he's on fire.
I see. Please see.
Not so tough after all.
Strike hard and fast. We must be swift and just... Intruder! Take it! No way! didn't see anything. You?
Come and face your judgment.
Squad 7 is in the elevator shaft.
We got a Kamen Rider in the building.
That's what 9. Send them now. Squad
Guy
9
in spandex.
Get out of my way. I'll do this.
Are you gonna get your ass beat, dude? Get out of here.
Target located. Oh man.
The Guardians. This made-up order who kept for themselves what belongs to the people. The truth always finds... What the...
Oops! I forgot about that. Oopsies. What's actually a speedrun strat? You skip like 2 fights doing that, I think.
To each crime, its punishment, and to each
Want to take the death you can. You'd only be like age 20 at this point anyway, so... no matter. Dying loses a lot of time.
You can run, but you can't hide.
No flying way.
Alright folks, I'm done for tonight. I gotta be up in the morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. We'll probably play some Memory of Heroes later. Some more SD Shin Kamen Rider Rumble. Probably work on those two games next. The Evangelion DLC just came out. However, I know that the Southeast Asia version comes out in like a week, so I might just wait for that. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. See you later.